Good morning, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick overview of what we see transpiring in the market. Right now, we can see XLM's up almost 7% on the morning, which is a fantastic sight to see. We've got XRP pushing up to $2.48 right now, clearly over that pivot point that we've discussed the last several days. The XRP Bitcoin pairing is showing us a key indicator, at least within the last 4 to 5 days, as we've had a golden cross back tested in the weekly time frame, and that shows us we should have some upward volatility against Bitcoin. XLM looks like it's put in a bull flag here in the short time this morning. I put a different chart on here so that we can do this together and build it out. So what I want to do as we're just getting together, talking about this morning update, and talking about what's transpiring so far across the crypto market, I want to do this this XLM chart, and I want to show exactly what's starting to develop here, and it's actually a very, very good thing for XLM. We do have a couple layers of resistance that have built out, but as of right now, I really like to see what we have going on here. We broke out of a little descending wedge, and now out of this breakout, we should be able to have a decent little move up here. Like I said, we're up 6.3%, but this is what we were trying to break out of, was this descending wedge. We back tested it, and now we've held it. And now if it continues to play out in the way it should, we've got a couple different layers that could affect us here, because we've started another consolidation here. So really, you're just trying to get past that resistance, and you're going to be off to the races here. So this is a much wider pattern that goes on. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders is formed here, and I think it's a pretty interesting chart to look at with XLM, because I believe it's a better value right now than XRP, only because of where it's at on the price chart. It seems to be lagging behind. I mean, I could look at this and go boom, 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 and say we're building some kind of inverse head and shoulders. We've talked about this before, but now we're on the outside, and this pattern really could have a substantial movement here. We could have substantial movement here if this continues on. We're trying to get past this, what I would call, this is like our continuation area. We need to get over right around 38 cents. If we get over 38 cents, XLM's going to be, it's got some movement here. It's going to have some serious movement. And, I mean, you're going to start talking about these upper boundaries. But we've got a rather large pattern formation here as well. And if you try to follow through this, and I know you got to actually, it takes a second to let this sink in, but the way that this is set up for a massive move if we can get out of this region. Like, we are seriously setting up for a big movement for XLM. And it's been lagging behind in my opinion, but you can see that descending wedge broke out. We've got a nice resistance structure here. But then if we go from resistance across, you can see it's really where X marks the spot. It really, really is. I mean, right around 37 cents. If we can break over that, man, we are going to be in business. We are going to be in business. And the descending wedge, these like to come back up to the top of the wedge. So it broke down right here in this wedge. They like to come back up after they get clear of this. So I'm looking for that 50-cent return point. And then after that, you've got several key layers that we could build into. We can build in to the 63-cent level. We can start talking about the massive breakout that could happen here, especially because we're on a massive, it looks like almost like a bull flag. Man, it almost like a descending triangle, larger term, but shorter term, we're in a descending wedge. If this played out properly, and we got the maximum capacity here, and I'm spending a lot of time on XLM to start, and then we'll go to XRP. This is going to be an XRP XLM update. But if we got maximum capacity, let's just say we broke out somewhere over here. I mean, we can see 88 cents is rather, it's in there. And then if you look at this from the totality side, I mean, if you break out of 63 cents, you could start talking about a much bigger move here. If we start talking about the top end potential of this move, you're talking about near $1.17. Like, $1.17 is where my overall visual is of this if we did play out true. So got a few layers to go. First layer is going to be that 50.5 cents out of this descending wedge if we can get past this 37, right around 37.5 cents. So that's what I'm looking for XLM. It's up 6.6% this morning. It had a good night. It's had a great night. It looks like it wants to start playing out finally, and we've got a lot of potential here. 2 hourlies reversed nicely to the top side. It looks like we're just starting building this flag. It looks like initially we should come up to that 37.5 cent resistance. I know it's not over the top. You won't see it unless you start drawing out almost like the fan setting like I did. But that's almost like the fan indicator that you do by yourself. So that's something to pay attention to. I think we're off to the races here to start so far for XLM. XRP's up 2.66%, and we'll get into that. But first, I want to start the intro. Good morning. 7:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So some positivity when it comes to XLM, XRP. We should have positivity as well. XRP's up only 2.7% against XLM, or should I say against XLM 7%. But it seems to be running just a tad bit behind. XRP backtested its own version of a descending wedge, but it was in a prior part of the breakout. Then it formed this sideways consolidation, much like XLM. And then that yellow line going through is the neckline right here of what I believe is going to end up turning into likely an inverse right shoulder. And now as long as we were over $2.41, that's where we can start to make noise. And now that we broke 241, now we just need to hold right here at 244.7. And then we'll finish off our move to $3.29 approx, or $3.27 in the short term. That's the short term move that I'm still watching, that I still think, despite how bearish it looked in the market, I think the overall setup here is actually bullish. And I think every single chart is speaking to the fact, if you can dissect and discern what's going on here, that you're going to be in much better shape than it may appear on paper, especially with all the nonsense that's being talked about in the mainstream. Daily time frame looks like a breakout. Looks like we're breaking out in the daily. I would like to see a little more volume. We're still in this overall broadening wedge for XRP. So it looks like a bullish consolidation on this broadening wedge. We've seen this before in the past. And the fact it came in from a bullish perspective and is consolidating. Even if we're bearish, I fully expect this to come up to 327 and then overall up to that 375 and, hit all-time highs, even if bearish. And before I leave, because I do have to get my son to school by 8:20, but before I leave, look at this very quickly. This is for the alt season. So this is for altcoins. We needed to get up and over, and we actually initiated a bullish cross here now when it comes to the altcoin. So the last time we did this, we had a rather substantial move of about 500%. So is history going to repeat itself now that we've had the bullish cross here? I'm thinking so. I'm thinking these are all starting to look good. I think this is all starting to look good here. So this is our crypto total market cap outside of Bitcoin. So this excludes Bitcoin. And you can see we've had a bullish cross when it comes to the altcoin. So this is going to be something to be seen here, because this could be the setup that is telling us initially, just by understanding the charts, that we are starting to break out here in a very big way. We know the XRP Bitcoin pairing. We had that huge bullish golden candle or golden cross. We back tested perfectly. And now it's almost as if we're starting to catch up now in the smaller time frames, or we're going to have a volatile swing out. Really looks like we're going to have some volatility to the upside. But until we break past that 3057, which is about, it's a little bit of a ways up, we can't really get to the main movement here. We break this 20% move, and then all of a sudden we open up the door to that 0.00051110. So a lot of volatility to come. A lot of things that are working in our favor so far this morning. A lot of movement in a lot of different cryptos, and I'm going to end with DGB. We're going to do our old XRP XLM DGB this morning. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this update. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're a fan of DGB, pay very close attention as we're getting close to breaking out of this descending wedge, it looks like. And even if you go from back a little bit farther, your initial shoot up here is going to be around 2 cents. If we can break out of this, our initial push up is going to be, it's like a 130% move. Like DGB is so far behind the competition. Now, remember, if we get rejected here at the 897 level, the 00897 or 009, you could technically come back down to 0056 and continue filling out this descending wedge, which it's filled out pretty much the majority now, but there is still a possibility that it could even fill out more if it doesn't, because right now it looks like we're pretty much filling this out, but we'll see. We'll see if it's time finally for DGB to start breaking out. This pattern's been going on for some time since we hit this resistance up in December, late November. And now we've been in this descending wedge. These are typically bullish consolidations and they bullish reverse. But that only happens about 70 to 75% of the time. So I like our odds here. We'll watch this as we transcend through the day. But it looks good from our angle here. So if you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, I encourage you to get this set up now before you start trading. Just go in the video description below and our pinned comments or my home page, which is where it's the easiest. And then BITUNIX is the lowest spot in leverage trading fees, lowest maker-taker fee. They have XRP and so many more. HOTCOIN has VELO, XDC, and IOTA, which is nice. Crypto.com, I use the Crypto Visa debit card, $25,000 you can put onto it at any given time. And then it's FDIC backed as long as you have it in a USD wallet up to $250K. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal if you want to send a donation. But other than that, get yourself situated, pay attention to the charts, and let it flow. Let the charts flow, and let's see how it plays out today. Have a blessed day, everybody.